I spoke to the spokesperson of the INEC Chairman, Mr. Kayode Odowu. I began by asking him how the card reader actually works. Take a listen.
The card has been read by the card reader. The presenter of the permanent voter card will put his finger or her finger on the device, and the card reader will match the fingerprint that is being placed on the device, the fingerprint that is in the embedded chip on the permanent voter card. Because on the embedded chip in the permanent voter card, you have the biometrics of the voter, his picture, his or her picture, data, and fingerprints. So when you put your fingerprint on the card reader, it will match it with the fingerprints that is in the card, on the embedded chip in the card, to confirm that they agree. So that when they agree, it is clear evidence that you are the legitimate holder of that card, and then you will proceed with the remaining processes during the election. That's how the card reader works. It is simply for accreditation. It is not for voting. It is not a voting machine. It is simply to be used for accreditation.
Now, tell us, this processes the process you've just explained now, how fast can it be? Because I'm just imagining a situation where you have about 500 people, or say 200-300 on the queue waiting to get the accreditation done. How fast will this process be, the process you've just narrated?
Excellent question. Now, it has been, testings have shown that the card reader takes an average of 10 seconds to do these processes that I've outlined. Now, but we can actually work, we have also done some calculations for planning purposes. It takes an average of 10 to 20 seconds, but let's double that to say 20 to 40 seconds. Per individual. On a voting point, you will have a maximum. We have broken down all the polling units into a voting point of a maximum of 750 people. In other words, if you have a voting point, a polling unit that has 4,000 people, you will have in such a polling unit about 5 voting points. It's the same polling unit. They are not extra. They are not new polling units. It will be the same location, but different lines. Different lines of about 700,000 people on each line. 700 people, not 1,000, please.
Yeah, 700 on each line.
Now, if you multiply 40 seconds, which is the highest that you can. Now, let's also project, for the sake of planning, 70% turnout. Nigeria has never witnessed that level of turnout. The highest that Nigeria has ever had is about 55%. But for planning purposes, let's project 70% turnout. That will give you about 520. When you multiply 40 seconds by 525 people, you will get about 6 hours, 30 minutes. So that is when you are talking of 70% voter turnout. You and I know that we have never recorded that level of voter turnout in Nigeria. So we are only looking, we are stretching it as far as these calculations have been done. They fall well within electoral operations time on election day. So the commission is convinced and confident that it can be handled.
Now, we know you're set to begin the testing of these cards. Are you envisaging any problem at all, and what steps are you taking, just in case any problem crops up?
You see, the whole point of this field testing that is being done tomorrow is to see whether really fears that have been expressed are justified. As far as the INEC has done some testings of these card readers, that narrative out there that the card readers have not been tested is false. The card readers have been tested on a very minor scale, agreed, and in simulation situations, agreed. But they've been tested. We've done mock elections in the FCT. We've done mock elections in Nasarawa State, where the commission has gone out to the field and tested these card readers. But if anything happens, the guidelines that the commission, in agreement with the political parties, have provided series of alternatives, or what you can call plan A, plan B, plan C, in event that something happens. The first plan, for instance, is, like I said, the card reader has a 12-hour lifespan when it is in continual use. Now, if the battery, for whatever reason, has issues, I told you the commission has more than 35,000 spare batteries that can be used. That is one plan. Now, if the challenge is with the card reader itself, the commission has more than 26,000 spares that can be deployed. And arrangement has already been made that spares will be positioned at some point close to polling units, a ward point close to polling units, where you can have rapid deployment. And within an hour or so, that card reader can be replaced if it malfunctions for whatever reason. But the parties have actually agreed with the commission that in the highly remote and unlikely situation that a card reader cannot be replaced before 1 p.m. when accreditation is supposed to end. And I underscore the word
highly unlikely.
Yes, highly remote, highly unlikely, that it cannot be replaced. The parties agree with the commission that call for the exercise to be repeated the next day. In other words, you now bring a functional card reader to do the exercise, because if that happens, it will be in extremely isolated areas. And because it will be in isolated areas, you can bring functional card readers to do it in those areas where that happens. The sense in that is this. You see, if you simply adopt the option that if a card reader malfunctions, revert to manual, there's a high likelihood that human agency will come in, and before you know it, 70, 80, and 90% of the card readers will malfunction, because people know that you can revert to manual. So, but with this, there is evident that you can't revert to manual, and that itself will be a guarantee that there will be, the futility of playing games will be obvious.
Just finally, before I let you go, is INEC prepared for March the 28th, when we will be having the presidential election?
I can give you a guarantee. The readiness assurance is of a much higher level now than it was even before the rescheduling from February 14. Before February 14 rescheduling, the commission was ready, although not 100% ready. Yes, not 100% ready, but it could still go ahead with the elections. But even now, we are far more ready than we were at that time.
All right. We can only wish you all the best of luck, Mr. Adu, you and the commission.
Thank you so much.